And there it is. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. Gather, come and join. One man went to mow. There it is. Here it is. It is here. I am here. Question is, are you? Be here now. Come participate in the session. See how it unfurls. That situation that often occurs round about this time is occurring again. Come occur with it. Situate yourself with the platform. Thumbs up as you are coming in and share the links as you would. So that is the intro. One man went to mow, the eagle has landed.
Water, only water, only water, where they see ma. Water, 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 water. Only water, where they see ma. Hapa o naido. Hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Ilé ṣọ́ni kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Bobby master kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Chief Wáìlà tí kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù dòde ojàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́ọ̀dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosonama ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodù ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run méjì kọ. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
And there it is. Potent, powerful prayers by the care guides. Iku koniri wagbeshe, may death not have anything to do with us. Iku koniri wagbeshe, as guys, I bring you this. Amaechi bags traditional title from DAURA to be turbanned February the 5th. So this is it. Oh, this is the system that we operate in Nigeria. You pay feudum to the emperor and you get rewarded. You remember, of course, that this same Rotimi Amaechi, he went and situated the university for automobiles in Daura. Daura that has no train running through it until Buhari is building this Fulani railway, that has no commercial value. So he took it all the way to Daura and presented the argument that Daura is part of Nigeria. He, of course, had the funnel for corruption, the number one funnel for corruption in Nigeria. And the reward for all that, Amaechi bags traditional title from Daura to be turbanned on the 5th of February. So there it is right there. There it is right there, and here it is right here. From 2.1 billion left by Jonathan, Buhari depletes excess crude oil account to 35 million naira, dollars rather. So from 2.1 billion dollars left by Jonathan, Buhari depletes excess crude account to 35 million. No. So even, 0.1 is still 100 million. So it's just emptied it completely. But what it was spent on, no one knows, because they just gone in to steal everything. Everything they've stolen. From 2.1 billion left by Jonathan, Buhari depletes excess crude account to $35 million. So quite what that was spent on I will find out just shortly. Be ready to declare bank assets. INEC tells candidates ahead of 2023 election. So now that is looking likely that the clamor is for power to transit to the south. Suddenly now Mahmoud Yakubu has discovered the rule book of INEC and is now reading through the rule books and is reciting now the rules of INEC to the political space. These rules, of course, were jettisoned totally under the Buhari administration when he was installing Buhari time after time. Because, of course, Buhari was not able to prove qualifying certificate for the minimum threshold of education. He presented a false affidavit. All of this documented in INEC registration form, which automatically disqualifies him, but no rules applied because, of course, he's a Fulani warlord and their leader. So anything just put him in place. So now that his time has elapsed, and he's not leaving office, by the way, Buhari, for reasons of constitution, it's just he's debilitated so heavily by age and ill health. That is why he's leaving office. Otherwise, you can forget any constitution, as we have done since 2015. But now the rule books come back into play. Be ready to declare bank asset. INEC tells candidates ahead of 2023 elections. So that's that. And to this, why I don't want Sunday Igboho to be released. Seriki Fulani. So Seriki Fulani, of course, now he, the overlord of the Nigerian space, and is the determinant over the faith of the average Nigerian. And his word, of course, is law in the Nigeria that we live in today. And that law judgment has now been pronounced, and it's a damning faith from the man from Oyo. Why I don't want Sunday Igboho to be released. Seriki Fulani makes the final damning declaration on Sunday Igboho's faith. So now to this, a tragic story, but Buhari takes a position. So it'll be interesting now to see just how this reads. Buhari mourns murdered 5-year-old Hanifa, asks Justice Ministry to uphold integrity of her case. So now this is a viral narrative within the Nigerian space. That little girl, very pretty little girl, that was sadly done away. But now Buhari now takes a position. Buhari mourns murdered 5-year-old Hanifa, asks Justice Ministry to uphold integrity of her case. So quite how that reads and what is in play there, we'll find out just shortly. So plenty to go through. So kick back, lean back, take it easy, relax, and surrender yourself to the sessions, just for however long it lasts. And make sure you are subscribed and you're thumbing up the like button as well. We're trying to propel the YouTube algorithm. So as we're doing all that, then we provide a little bit of an entertainment before we get into the full throes of it. So to the east and to Python dance.
Python that's 1, Python that's 2, now Python that's 3. Unaboli Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2, now Python that's 3. Unaboli Mary Nandi bu onye du aimo. O Mary wone nizu ngiro ya abakare. Mamanda ora, Unaburi Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2, now Python that's 3. Unaburi Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2, now Python that's 3. Unaburi Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2, now Python that's 3. Unaboli Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2, and Python that's 3. Unaboli Mary Python dance 1, Python dance 2, and Python dance 3. Unabuhi Mary Nandi.
And there you have it. They continue to insist in the East. Python dance, Nnamdi wins the war. Python dance, Nnamdi wins the war. So Python dance, Nnamdi wins the war. As guys, I bring you this. Amaechi bags traditional title from DAURA to be banned February the 5th. Transportation Minister Rotimi Amaechi will be turbaned as Dan Amana Daura, trusted son of Daura, that means, on the 5th of February. The Director of Press and Public Relations in the ministry, Eric Ejikwe, disclosed this in a statement on Friday, stating that the title is in recognition of his contribution to Nigeria's development. So quite why Daura is anything to do with Nigeria's development is anybody's guess. I've never known any Daura to speak to Nigeria's development. Daura only ever speaks to her own development. And that even in the instance of Buhari's son being turbaned. When they turbaned Buhari's son, the Emir of Daura said then that he was turbaning him in lieu of his father because the father couldn't take the turbaning, and the turbaning was for his contributions to the development of Daura. So that was the reason why they turbanned Buhari's son. So quite why they are turbanning Rotimi Amaechi for development of Nigeria is just a nonsense. So it's for his contributions to Daura. The Director of Press and Public Relations in the ministry, Eric Ejikwe, disclosed this in a statement on Friday, stating that the title is in recognition of his contributions to Nigeria's development. He said Mr. Amaechi will be honored, especially for his effort in bringing to life the rail sector that has been moribund for over 3 decades. He said the turbaning ceremony would be performed by the Emir of Daura, Umar Faruk Umar at the palace in Daura, Katsina State by 11 a.m. The highlight of the occasion will be a royal durbar in honor of the minister and invited dignitaries, the ministry spokesperson said. So there you it's the feudum, it's a feudal system that we're running in Nigeria. We're not running a federation, or never mind a nation. We're not running anything other than a feudum with our people paying fealty to the emperor. So it's a rankadede system. It's on your knees and the sword placed on your shoulder, and you kiss the feet. So this is kiss the feet. It's a real farce, the Nigerian state. A total, categorical, absolute farce, the Nigerian state. And that is the farce again in another cameo right there. So now to this, President Buhari mourns 5-year-old Hanifa, asks Justice Ministry to uphold integrity of her case. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed the nation's condolences to the family of the 5-year-old schoolgirl Hanifa Abubakar, whose body was discovered in a shallow grave in Kano after near 2 months of fruitless search. In a statement released by his media aide, Garba Shehu, the president in the same breath praised the work of the police and the Secret Service in unraveling the mystery behind the disappearance of Hanifa, and particularly for the arrest of her teacher and his other accomplices suspected of the child's kidnap and murder. Buhari said the family and the whole nation would follow up on Hanifa's travail every day since her disappearance in December last year. We're hoping the President Buhari said the family and the whole nation, which followed up on Hanifa's travail every day since her disappearance in December last year, were hoping for the girl to have been rescued alive and well, adding that, however, that the very thorough and painstaking detective operation by the law enforcement bodies leading to the discovery of the corpse and the arrest of the suspects who have already made confessions were commendable, calling it an achievement that should instill more public confidence in the authorities. When breakthroughs like this happen, people will talk differently of law enforcement, the president said. President Buhari prayed for the repose of the soul of the little schoolgirl and urged her parents to bear the loss with courage and fortitude in God. The president urged the police and Ministry of Justice to uphold the integrity of the detective work that busted the case by preparing well and presenting a good case that will earn the respect of the court. So I'm bringing you this story, one, because it's a recurring decimal within the Nigerian space. This is a story that moves us all, moves me, especially pretty little girl, the future ahead of her, now snuffed out age 5. So just a real trauma there. But then that is not sadly peculiar or unusual. This is a recurring decimal within the Nigerian space. But why has Buhari been moved especially to respond to this particular one? Every single day we hear about Uchenna and Fadeke being savaged and ravaged. Every single day we never hear from Malam Buhari. But Hanifa, there it is. May her soul rest in peace, but again, Hanifa, and there it is. So there it is, and here it is. From $2.1 billion left by Jonathan, Buhari depletes excess crude account to $35 million. The Muhammadu Buhari regime has steeply depleted Nigeria's excess crude account to $35.8 million from over $2 billion left by former President Goodluck Jonathan in 2015. Clem Agba, Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, made this known at the National Economic Council meeting in Abuja. Nigeria's excess crude oil account balance as at the 17th of January 2022 stands at $35.8 million. Stabilization account balance as of 17th January 2022 stands at $30 billion, $30.6 billion. Development of Natural Resources account balance as at 17th January 2022 stands at, I do beg your pardon. So the crude account starts at, let me take that entirely all over again, actually, because they've conflated the dollars with the naira. So Nigeria's excess crude account balance as at 17th of January 2022 stands at $37.8 million. Stabilization account balance as at 17th of January 2022 stands at 30 billion, but this is naira. So 30 billion naira. So not real money. Development of Natural Resources account as at the 17th of January 2022 stands at 42 billion naira, Mr. Agba disclosed. The ECA balance, so that is the excess crude oil account balance, which stood at $60 million as at October 2021, has been depleted further to 35 million. The excess crude balance, which stood at $60 million in October 2021, has been depleted further to $35 million, plunging the nation's economy into regress. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo conceived the ECA in 2004 to document the nation's excess crude revenue from crude oil. Before Mr. Buhari's assumption of office, the account balance stood at $3.6 billion in February 2014, one of the highest balance in record. The paltry status of the ECA has again raised criticism about Mr. Buhari's incompetence to utilize the nation's resources judiciously. His regime so far has been characterized with heavy borrowing, looting, insecurity, inflation, heavy hike in food prices, and overall unrest. The Economist in 2021 described Buhari as an inept leader whose fiscal policies had regressed the nation's economy and whose fight against terrorism ends on the lips. Mr. Buhari, who was elected in 2015, turned an oil shock into a recession by propping up the naira and barring many imports in the hope that this would spur domestic production. Instead, he sent annual food inflation soaring above 20%, wrote the London-based publication. In addition to depleting the ECA, the Buhari regime has become notorious for borrowing heavily from countries like China, France, Japan, India, and Germany. As at June 2021, Nigeria was owing a staggering 4.26 billion naira to the $4.26 billion to these five countries. In October 2021, Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed expressed her discomfort that the nation exceeded her borrowing threshold. We are very uncomfortable at the fact that we have borrowed at the quantum exceeding the threshold that is outlined by the Fiscal Responsibility Act, said Mrs. Ahmed at the 27th National Economic Summit in Abuja. In 2015, the then Minister of Finance Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala disclosed that the country earned $61.7 billion as excess crude oil between 2011 and 2015. Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala, who is now the president of the World Trade Organization, said Nigeria earned about $18.14 billion in 2011, 18.1.6 in 2012, etc., etc. So there it is, right there. Buhari has just. What more do I even need to say? The figures tell their own narrative. I cannot add or remove from what you've just heard. The guy, he came in, met $2.1 billion in the excess crude account, and he wiped it out immediately. Immediately, he just wiped it out. He and his cabal. Be ready to declare your bank asset. Inec tells candidates ahead of 2023 election. The Independent National Electoral Commission on Friday said it would beam its searchlight on politicians and political parties to track the sources of funds for their campaign in the 2023 general election. Correspondent report. The commission, therefore, promised to establish a committee to monitor election expenditure ahead of the exercise. Chairman of INEC Mahmood Yakubu, represented by a National Commissioner Kunle Ajayi, stated this in Abuja during a policy roundtable conference on the political campaign finance organized by Electoral Reform, an organ of the Initiative for Research, Innovation and Advocacy in Development, with support from Makata Foundation. He said, as long as we have not notified anybody that the race to the 2023 general election has started, we are not aware of what anybody is doing. We follow the law strictly. We have not officially declared notice for the 2023 general election, but when we so declare, we will put our monitoring committees to motion, like the Central Bank of Nigeria, DSS, EFCC, the ICPC, commercial banks, and other law enforcement agencies. We have that plan already. Every candidate must be made to declare his bank asset. That is where they draw out their money. So we will make them present their statement of account right from the onstart. we will make it mandatory for them to turn in their bank statements so that if they say they are doing billboards and the account remains the same, then there is a problem. So I don't quite know what that means. That's just a total nonsense so far. The INEC chairman also said the agency would also monitor the movement of money on election day to help tackle vote buying at the poll. So just look at that as a statement. On the eve of the 2019 elections, 2 billion vans were seen on the eve, that is, of the presidential election, just the day before votes were to be were to be casted. 2 billion vans were seen entering the premises, the residence of the chairman and the leader of the APC, Bola Tinubu. So where was this policy then to then strike that party out of the ballot? Where was this policy? But then, of course, Malam Buhari was in play. So the INEC chairman also said the agency would also monitor the movement of money on election days to help tackle vote buying at polling units. Mahmood said that through the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, commercial banks would be mandated to report all suspicious transactions ahead of the election. The INEC chairman also threatened to prosecute any bank that failed to cooperate. Speaking on the issue of vote buying, Mahmoud said, "We are going to establish financial monitoring teams. They will be amongst the electorate, but the politicians, won't know. We are going to do it in a way that the influence of money will be reduced because we want to make the electoral field a level playing ground for both rich and poor candidates and electorates. Everybody will go on an equal economic level so that you won't influence the voting pattern." So that is the nonsensity that we're hearing from the yam head, from wherever he's from. Why, and this now the last readout, why I don't want Sunday Igboho to be released. Seriki Fulani speaks to the faith of the Yoruba man. Seriki Fulani in Ibarapa land, Alhaji Saliu Abdulkadir, who was evicted from his Igangan residence this day last year, says the daring nature of Sunday Adeyemo, a Yoruba youth leader better known as Sunday Igboho, is why he is opposed to his release. Correspondents report that the evicted Sakin Fulani, who has relocated to Ilorin, Kwara State since the incident, whilst speaking on the earlier quit notice issued by Igboho prior to his eviction, explained that he did not handle the eviction notice with levity. According to him, he got assurance from the Oyo State government after the quit notice, but he was surprised that Igboho carried out his threat without anybody challenging him. He told pardon me, he told correspondents in a report published on Saturday, "For those 7 days, the state government sent 14 police officers to us and they were guiding us, but the police officers were overpowered by Igboho's men. That is why I don't support the call for the release of Igboho. I am sure he must be regretting his actions now. Any Nigerian can live in any part of the country, and I have always said that there are criminals everywhere. There are criminals amongst Yorubas, just like we have amongst the Fulani people. This is where we expected the government to come in and fish out those who are criminally minded." Abdikadir said 1 year later he still hoped that justice would be served and he would be compensated for the properties lost during the crisis. Igboho is currently being detained in a prison facility in the Republic of Benin after he was arrested with Rocco, his wife, at Benin International Airport, Cotonou, whilst he was on his way to Germany in July 2021. He had been declared wanted by the Nigerian authorities for his separatist activities. Igboho's wife has since been released. So the fate of Sunday Igboho, of course, to be determined by some Fulani character called Seriki Fulani, and that is now where the Yoruba people find themselves. A real travesty. Ajale Koko, I see you. Dan, I see you. Xero, I see you. And Thomas, I see you. So let's go to Mr. Dan first. Good to see you, Dan. Good to have you. Dan, are you there?
One man, please, can you let me go first so that I
Oh,
can go
oh,
and take care of some business? Dan,
oh,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
oh,
How are
oh,
you? How's everybody doing?
oh, all right, quickly to it. Then Ajale Koko, to that Igboho space, his fate now being determined by a guy called Seriki Fulani that he doesn't want Igboho in Yoruba land anymore, and he wants him kept in perpetuity in a Benin prison. What are you making of that?
Igboho's fate is not in his hand. I think the man is just talking nonsense. I could believe some people that Igboho's fate is in the hand of Nigerian government because we cannot rule out the fact that Nigerian government have hand in the detention of Igboho in Republic of Benin. We cannot rule out that fact. So, but we are still hoping that Republic of Benin will release him soon because their judiciary over there have not found any criminality.
But what influence do you think this guy think he has to state that he would not support the release of Sunday Igboho? What does he feel that his support of that release means? And what do you think it means wanting to be compensated? They were notorious for kidnapping in that space to the point that they even kidnapped the son of the Oba or Obale of that area, and they traced it to this guy and his group. And he lords it over them. So what do you think it means by what he's saying, essentially that he's not yet ready to release him? What do you think he's speaking to?
Well, he's a Fulani man, and I believe that the man at the helm of affair in Nigeria is a Fulani, and the president has not, by every action he has been taking, has shown that we favor Fulani interests over the interests of other tribes in the country. So I think that is why this man is talking in this way. But to say that he is directly involved or is have a direct influence over the detention and possibly the release is I don't want to buy into that. Nigerian state.
If he feels that his words do not hold sway, then what? Because I'm reading it that he's signaling to the space that look, this guy, you know that the Fulanis they have that omata sort of something that this guy has wronged me and I don't want him released yet. Is what I think signaling to his clan.
Yes, I agree with you. That is signaling that to them that I've suffered. I've suffered so much. I've been driven out by this Igbo was the one behind my banishment, or how can I call it, by his removal, or how do I put it, by his kicking out from Igogon. And what?
They expunged him. I said they expunged him.
Oh yeah. So he should suffer the same fate as well and be kept in detention. So he could, but all we know is that the reason why the government is detained, has detained
why Nigerian government has colluded with Republic of Benin to detain him is because they don't want Yoruba nation to emerge because they saw that the way Igboho and his team were campaigning for Yoruba nation, they were gaining ground, and they have to stop it as quick as possible because that agitation is a threat to politicians and their political interests in Nigeria. So, but this man...
Woman, can I counter Ajali Koko? Can I counter Ajali Koko?
Carry on, but I think Ajale Koko is in a hurry, so you have to be sharpish about it.
No, yes, I before I forgot my thoughts. Ajali Koko, if you remember some months ago, we talked about Igboho. I said Nigerian aunt is in his detention in Benin Republic. You argue with me for almost 10 minutes, if you remember. Now you are agreeing with me now that Nigerian aunt is in his detention in Benin Republic. Do you remember that day?
So you are claiming your victory, Abi? Are you claiming your victory? Look at this guy.
Yes, one man. Because I said it that day. You can't rule out Nigerian aunt in this man's detention. Ajali Koko argue with me almost 10 minutes. We almost fought that day. So now you are agreeing with me. Continue your speech.
Ajale Koko was right then, and Ajale Koko is right now, because Ajale Koko is always right. So back to you, Ajale Koko. don't mind him. Don't mind the rascality of the youth.
One man. Look, Thomas. What you the way you were putting it that day was like, it's Nigerian state that detained him. It's different from Nigerian state influence is detention. So what I was telling you is that Nigerian state is not in the custody of Nigerian state. It's in the custody of Republic of Benin. And Republic of Benin are taking him through their legal process. And the legal process of Republic of Benin is showing that Sunday Igboho has no question to answer because they are taking him through, and the Supreme Court in the Republic of Benin have exonerated him of all the charges against him, and they have called on his counsel to apply for his release. So what I was saying is that, yes, Nigerian state has influence, but the determination of this legal process is in the hand of Republic of Benin. So that was what I was telling you. I was not saying that Nigerian government does not have influence, but what you were presenting that day was that Nigerian state detained him, and I disagree with you. So, but maybe both of us are saying the same thing in different way. So, but let us continue on this. So, that man is because he believed, yes, the Fulani are in control. They are in charge of everything. They're in charge of the judiciary. They're in charge of the custom. They're in charge of the military. They're in charge of the police. So he feel, yes, his people are there and they can, feel the same plight that he's going through, and they will not leave him alone. And so that is why he's just talking. But to say it's influence over the government decision, I don't think so. It's the Yoruba nation cause that Igboho was fighting for. That is why Nigerian state, went after him.
And it's called for a compensation. What is it looking to be compensated for?
He has to go to court if he feels that if he's looking for compensation. He has to go
but
to
from whom though?
That's what I don't know.
Because if he gets compensated, then every other victim of crime in Nigeria has to be compensated equally. Because there's no special law for him, even though he may think so.
Who is he suing? Is he suing Igboho or
the
the
Nigerian
state
state
government?
did not attack him. It was people that were against his ways that attacked him. So
Yeah.
if he wants compensation, then he should take Igboho to court now.
Oh, yeah. They should sue Igboho if you feel that it's Igboho that, send him out of Igboho, and as a result of that, affected his economic well-being, and he suffered some, economic loss and stuff like that. So you can sue Igboho now. He has the right as a Nigerian. So he should go and should go to court to seek for redress.
All right. So Adele Koko, I'm not sure if you have been following this rather tragic story of this very, very pretty little girl. Even the picture alone, it just draws your heart. 5-year-old Hanifa, she was, of course, abducted by her own teachers, held for ransom, and then disposed of. The police caught up with them, but Buhari now asking that justice should be followed through, which is fair enough. But this is not the first, second, or even the 1,000 or 100,000 instances of this sort of situation that we have had in Nigeria. So, what is particular about this particular case that suddenly jarred Buhari out of his convalescence to speak to space? What do you think is speaking at regarding this little girl so tragically lost?
Because they have brought the issue of this girl to the social media, and it has went viral, and that is why I think it's responding. But
so there's no ethnic coloration to it by your reading.
Well, we could somehow read it that way if we want to look at several other cases in other parts of Nigeria.
If this girl was equally as pretty, of the same age, the story remains the same. That exact same girl, but her name is Amaka from Abakaliki. Will we be hearing Buhari bleeding heart in the public space?
Yeah, so we have other cases like that hit the social media and went viral as well. And the president does not speak to that. But when it comes to the Fulani beautiful girl, he's speaking to that. So we know Buhari that when it comes to the interests of the Fulanis, we always speak.
It's just this drip towards an apartheid system that we're having in Nigeria, with some being superior to others. This is what we are slowly establishing as norm.
So we know him for that. And that is why you see the man we were talking earlier, the Seriki of Igboho. That is why you saw him. We had him, speaking the way he's speaking, that Igboho and all this nonsense, because they believe they have somebody at the top of affair that will always protect their interests, and he has put all their people in strategic position in Nigeria to promote and defend their interests all the time. So, but we have to. It's so sad that a teacher, somebody that can go to that extent. And do you know the reason why he killed that girl? Because he is owing money to. He's the proprietor of the school, and he's owing the staff, and in order to make some quick money, that is why he decided to kidnap that girl, to get some ransom from the parent. And because of his fear that the young lady recognizes him, and he released the girl. The girl would talk that, it is Mr. Abdullahi that kidnapped him. And in order to cover his own misdeed, that's why after taking the money,
are they human beings?
I don't know.
Life has no meaning.
After collecting ransom.
After collecting ransom. He killed
and
that.
And he go ahead and yamutu this girl.
That's why I'm saying that the reason because why she yamutu that girl, because she know that the girl can speak. The girl knows that he is the one that kidnapped her and the girl will tell the parent. And so in order to cover his criminality, that's why he killed that beautiful young girl. When I look at that girl, that girl looked like that Nigerian representative in United Nations. Fulani. Yeah.
She's just so pretty. She's just so pretty, Not that if she wasn't pretty, but she's just so pretty, Just so.
Let me tell
look
you,
at her eyes. So much life in those eyes,
If you put their picture side by side, she looked like that woman. When I saw it, I said, "This lady." What came to my mind was that is it the granddaughter of this woman? She looked like that woman. She looked exactly. If you can pull up the picture and put the picture of that lady, but this young girl, by that, she looked exactly like that. So when I saw, I said, is this young lady the granddaughter of this woman? But later I discovered that they are not related. But it's unfortunate. And
the fact that it's the teacher is just unforgivable, because we hand over our children to the schools in absolute trust that, look, you have charge of our word. And
yes.
we're placing a lot in terms of responsibility and trust in the hands of the teachers. When you take your children and you throw them into the school and they go into the arms of their teachers, it's a lot of trust.
Yes.
But then it shouldn't have been the teacher, It shouldn't have happened, but it definitely should not have been the teacher. It's unforgivable.
After home, school is another place that we should see as the safest place for our children. After our home, there's no any other places that are so safe for our children other than those two places, our home and the school. Those are the two places that we should regard as the safest place for our children. But when you have in school a teacher doing this to a young girl, that man should not live in that society. It should be eliminated. It should not be allowed to live among us. It should be used.
And look at it now. The money that is after, the reputation that is trying to protect, everything.
What has he done?
And not just him now, his whole family, they carry now this burden of his crime.
Yeah. But we have to, still commend the president for speaking to this issue. But I wish when any other case around the country happen like this, he should speak to it as well, so that parents across the country can see the president as a reliable partner and a person that is we always protect the interests of everybody, irrespective of their tribe.
All right, thank you. So nearly 70 people watching, but about 13 people thumbed up. So you can see it on your screens yourself. So those figures don't correlate. So thumbs up just to match those figures up. As I take Ajanle Koko to this next talking point, Rotimi Amaechi to be banned as a favored son of DAURA. So what are you making of that? Rotimi Amaechi from Rivers State. What are you making of that?
So, politicians, they will always buy traditional title, shifters title everywhere in the country in order to, spread their political influence and to promote their political empire. So,
is this him playing towards 2023? Is this him?
He's trying to, get the only way. Accepting that title will get him closer to the people in Katsina State and the people in the North, so that at any time he wants to contest for a national position, like the presidency, so he can consult with people over there, to help his ambition. This is what they do. All the politicians all over the country, they buy titles, they get titles everywhere. It's their that is their style, and we all know that. So all of them have title everywhere in their state, in their community, in across their state, and everywhere in the country. So it's a way of promoting their political empire and political influence. So,
Oh, okay.
Congratulations to Sariki Kas. I mean, what's the title?
What is you can as well call him Sari King Kasi? It doesn't make any
Sariki
difference. Just
Kasina.
Sari King Kasina, whatever, Some Igbo guy, the Sari King of Kasina, he's also. This is it. This is it. Eh? But I think this is his 2023 move anyway. This is him throwing his name into the ring. But still with that 2023, be ready to declare bank assets. INEC tells candidates ahead of 2023 election. So Mahmoud Yakubu now, he's put together a SWAT team, EFCC, ICPC, the banks, etc., to monitor the accounts of everybody. And then you bring in a bank statement as soon as they kick off politics, and then they will weigh then that bank balance against your spend for the elections. This, of course, was not in play when Buhari was contending, but now they've discovered the rule books. So what are you there making of Mahmoud Yakubu talking tough?
He's just talking nonsense. What I mean by that is that his commission have not perfected free and fair election in Nigeria. They have not perfected transparent electioneering process in Nigeria. So, and they want to add more responsibility to the already responsibility that they have not perfected. So it's just to me like a person trying to shade the shadow. They just want to talk so that it's just saying that so that people can look at him as a man that is trying to do great thing in Nigeria. But the bottom line is that we should charge him that what is most important for him to do is to perfect free and fair election across Nigeria. So that is what he should be speaking about, and not saying that he want to set up a unit that be monitoring bank accounts of politicians across the country. When EFCC that is even doing that have not even done it well, and you, the Electoral Commission, said you want to start chasing money transfer from, the way money moves.
That's just so easily circumvented, They just move money into another account. It's just an easy play.
Well, what is he talking?
They'll take donations into the account. Yeah. Somebody will donate 10 billion. And you cannot say they can't get donations now. Yeah. It's just a total nonsense.
It's just a total nonsense. And who are we to even know? Do we even supposed to know? If we want to say do that, get to work and start doing it. What do we have to know as the people that, this is what I'm going to do? It's just grandstanding. It's just to show off that, so that I can get some praises that, Inec is doing great job. A man that have never conducted the free and fair election in Nigeria. We saw 2019 presidential election,
which is the worst we have ever had.
The worst ever. We saw gubernatorial election in Ekiti, how they rig it openly. The one in Kogi, how they rig it. The one in Osun,
they were even using police helicopters to shoot at
people. And it declared the result. Yes. It declared the result in favor of
the APC. Yeah.
I mean, what is
Now he's chasing bank accounts. It's
so
unbelievable. Yeah.
it's unbelievable. It's just stupidity of people we have in position of authority and people that are managing government agencies. They just talk and they get away with it because Nigerians media, like I'll always say, they don't stand up to their responsibility to
No,
have
they are
to.
compromised now. It's brown envelope
Yeah,
journalism that they
yeah.
practice.
They
Babajile
don't-
Otuntoju and the rest of them. You see how fat they all are, you know? You see? Your journalist to
Eh,
you, then you know that
eh,
they should be too
Be
busy
like a dog.
chasing. They should be too busy chasing downfall to
Uh-huh.
chase down the story. But you are driving Ferrari. You are a journalist
Uh,
in Nigeria.
in
It's a
Nigeria.
nonsense.
So that man is just talking nonsense. We don't have to take what he's saying serious. Because how can he do it? I beg one man, let's move forward.
All right, take this seriously. From $2.1 billion left by Jonathan, Buhari depletes excess crude account to $35 million. So essentially, he's wiped it out. Which you say if it's gone. So what do you think where do you think that money has gone? Because the impact is not seen anywhere in Nigeria. So where do you think that money has gone? They borrow, and then what the country has, they take it out unaccounted for. So where is all this money going to? Ajanle Koko, $2.1 billion to $35 billion.
Well, the money obviously been looted. There's no other way to look at it or to say to that than money being looted. And this depletion have not just happened during Buhari regime. Even when Jonathan was there, it happened during his own time. It started during his own time. When Obasanjo left the government, I think what he left in that SL Crook account was around maybe $45 billion. How did it drop down to $2 billion when Jonathan was leaving? What did he do with the money? So we saw the way, we knew the way that the governors across the country back then, when Obasanjo was there and was saving this money, how they were putting pressure on Obasanjo to share the money to them, and Obasanjo refused. And they took him to court. They got judgment. The man still refused. He didn't share the money because Obasanjo was arguing that this is not your money. The money we budgeted for has been given to you. This is an excess, and we are saving it for emergency, that in case at any time that the nation run into economic or financial emergency, we can dip our money into that account and use it to stabilize the economy. So Obasanjo was resisted them. But when Jonathan gets
It's
there,
a shame that he did not institute it in really secured laws. He should have tied that account so tightly that it'd be impossible for anybody to just dip in.
Yeah, I think he tried. Maybe the assembly, they didn't want it. I'm not so sure. Maybe he did it or he didn't. But even if he didn't, the purpose for that SS crude oil account was very clear. Jonathan knew why that money was put there, but Jonathan, because he's trying to satisfy politicians across the country, the governors, so that they can work for him. They can work for him in his ambition. They can work for him to promote his presidential ambition. So he promoted it. He make it. He approved that money for them and let them steal that money He shared the money among them. He shared the money among them. So that is what happened. He should have resisted them. He should have damned the country, the what do you call it? The Supreme Court judgment, and keep the money there, because that is the money of the people. They have already been given their monthly allocation based on the budget, and that should be enough for them. And that is what Jonathan did. So he was the one that started running down that money. So Buhari came and he finished the job by, looting the entire money. So what do we do? So it's from Jonathan time that it started. If Obasanjo, like you are saying, one man did not put in law to have tied that money down, that is what he should have done. You understand what I'm saying? That is
because
what
he knows these people. He knows what they're like.
Yes.
Because when Abdul Salami took over from Abata, they were taking bullion vans to central bank to load it up with money. This was what they did. That was what Abata did. So he knows them.
Yes.
And he knows that as soon as he comes out of power, they would loot the whole thing that he has not nailed down. Yeah. So he should have used some financial vehicle and some laws to tie that money down.
So I agree with you. Governance is continuing.
And by the way, this Rotimi Amaechi led that charge against that account under Goodluck Jonathan. He was the one that attacked that money the most, because remember he was the head of the governors.
The governors, yeah. So,
don't you think the next president can veto it?
Veto what? No, if you tie it up, if the kind of veto outside of his powers now, if you remove, that's what I'm saying, that he should have instituted it in such a way that it cannot be vetoed.
Yeah.
Hide it in the constitution somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. So, but it's unfortunate that all of them don't believe in saving for the future of that country. And that was what Obasanjo was trying to do. But look at what they did. They destroyed it. People that came after him destroy every good thing that man has put in place to help. So
we're losing you somewhat, Adanle Koko. Hello?
Hold on, one man.
Yeah.
Take my mic here. It better now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So unfortunately, Jonathan did not put up a strong fight against the criminals. He should have took up that courage to say, no, I'm not giving you the money. I mean, after all, the federal government of Nigeria, on several cases, they got judgment against them and they don't pay people. But when it comes to the politician, they got judgment against federal government on money that does not belong to them, and they share it among themselves. This is the way these people are. They are unpatriotic to their country, and they are not competent to run to manage the affair of the country. All they are after is what they can grab and grab for themselves alone. Imagine how much. I think that amount was like $45 billion.
At one point.
At the point when Obasanjo was living. And during the Jonathan time,
how do you even just steal that? You know what happens is there's so many of them looking to steal. And these people are not looking to steal to be wealthy anymore to secure their lives. They are looking out to steal as competition. So if you are a 5 times dollar billionaire over, and I think I'm equal to you, I want to then steal to be 5 times $5 billion and more to match and exceed you. And then if you think that about 10,000 of them like that, all of them dollar billionaires off the back of just this Niger Delta oil wealth, You know, so that's
One man.
yeah.
One man. Sometimes ago, when I said we should just adapt a capital offense, you said no.
Yeah,
If
but
a
it's not a
capital
capital.
offense is this, one man, why are you saying this? We have it in Asia.
Yeah, we are
We
not
have
Asian, and they
capital
are
offenses.
barbarians in Asia. We are not
But
barbarians.
if we have capital offense, these people will be scared to steal this money. That is just my.
You know my problem with capital capital punishment. My objection to capital punishment is
Capital
miscarriage.
punishment, yeah.
Yeah, it is miscarriage of justice. So there's no recourse under capital punishment for miscarriage of
Punishment.
justice. Yes. So if you do something, if it's found not to be the case, and you've already taken that life, there's no reversing it. You know, there's no compensating it. So that's just why I don't. Yeah, it's not a civilized way of. But back to Ajan Lekoko to round off his thoughts. Ajan Lekoko.
So it's from 45 billion during Jonathan time, it run down to 2 billion. If Jonathan had been the person in charge of the nation today, he would have run everything out too. So this politician,
I don't think so. But continue with your point.
I don't think so either. You know, because I think Jonathan judiciously managed the country's economy. But that's
why do you say you don't think so? From 45
because we could see the impact of what Goodluck Jonathan was spending money on.
Exactly.
But we cannot see anything that Buhari has started and finished or even progressed in any way within the Nigerian space. At best, it's completed one or two of Jonathan's.
I just gave you, Guy, the way that money went down during Jonathan time, from 45 to 2 billion. Obasanjo, as at the time he was leaving government, Nigeria does not have any debt. Jonathan incurred 8 billion. So if Jonathan remained there as well, he would have incurred more debt on the nation. The money we are talking about, the 2 billion, will have been run down because it's not a government. Jonathan government was not a government that believed in savings as well. So this is the way. It was all the good, the wealth that Obasanjo left behind, that Jonathan government was spending and make it look as if it was doing great thing. It will have lavished everything. We will have been running on debt as well, the way we have this government running of debt. So it will have been the same thing, because he did not manage the place well too. He was not saving. That when you have a nation that does not save for emergency, for future emergency, that's a nation that does not have economic future, a bright economic future. You must have saving. Even let's look at ourselves as an individual. If anything happened to any one of us, and we need money and you don't have money in savings, what's going to happen to you? You're going to suffer, or you go and borrow. So this is what happened during Jonathan time. So we cannot say Jonathan was doing any great thing or anything. No. He didn't manage the economy well too. All the good thing, that wealth that Obasanjo left behind, was what he was enjoying and make it look like. I mean, look at the price of oil during his own time. Why can't he save? The price of oil was over $100, and they lavished all the money. They were sharing all the money. $140 per barrel. And this guy was lavishing all the money. And you said that Jonathan would have He started the destruction of Nigerian economy. It started during his own time. Buhari just came because Buhari was promising change and they make too much noise. That is why we all looking at him as, oh, when this man comes in, he's going to save the country, he's going to give the country back to the people, he's going to make the country work again. So the failure started during Jonathan time. How can you be there, you're making so much money and you are not saving for the future of the country? It's a failure to me. So it started during his own time. It's just unfortunate that we have all these corrupt politicians managing that country. They are not patriots to that country. They don't think about the future of that country. All they think about is money coming in, let us share it. And then you see them like they are building road or bridge. Maybe the bridge should cost like 100 million. They will charge 2 billion for it, and they pocket the money, and nothing will happen. So it's just unfortunate, my people. So the problem started during Jonathan time, and I cannot exonerate Jonathan in this problem that we find ourselves today.
All right, thank you, Ajanle Koko. So Ajanle Koko, let's go on to Thomas, we've been hearing him in bits, so now let's hear him fully. So Thomas, then let's start with them where we started, Ajanle Koko. Why I don't want Sunday Igboho to be released. The Seriki Fulani, who now turns a politician, speaking to the national space. What are you then making of the words of this Aboki?
He would never want him to be released. He would never want him to be released because Sunday Igboho was the one that chased the man out of Igboho. And the man said he lost his house, he lost his cow, he lost his well-being. He has been living in Igboho for over 40 or 50 years ago. So he sees Sunday Igboho as his enemy. So it's just like your enemy. You don't want your enemy to be prosper or get out of jail, or you want your enemy to be in bondage. It's the same thing. The man feels Sunday Igboho is a threat to him. It's a threat to the Fulani in the southwest. It's a threat to Fulani and the Hausa in the southwest. That is why he's saying that. But for him to say he doesn't want him to be released, or maybe he has any influence on Sunday Igboho's case in Benin Republic, I don't think the man has that influence to really have hands in his detention in Cotonou in Benin. But it's just saying that just to like a protest. And you remember, since Nigerian court, it's a federal court, High Court in Ibadan, has awarded Sunday Igboho 20 billion naira. So the man is maybe preparing, maybe he's going to sue Sunday Igboho because it's not Nigerian government that's attacking or chase him out of Igboho. As Ajanle Koko correctly said, maybe the man is just coming out. So if Sunday Igboho finally got the 20 billion naira, maybe he could sue him for damages.
Do you think that is what he's targeting? It was his own court.
That is what the man is targeting. Because that 20 billion is he wants out of the money. So the man has been silent since from time. Now he's thought now the guy.
Why is that man not even in jail? Because he has a lot of charges leveled against him in that Igongon area, and he just walks away casually to Kwara to be threatening people from Ilorin. It's just the lawlessness of it, you know.
One man who we arresting, who we champion the arrest. Is it not the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, Mr. Integrity, as Ajanle Koko call Buhari? Is it not the one that will champion it? It's the one that will champion the arrest And if they arrest anyone today, if Buhari said they should release them, who will go against him? So the man can't be in jail because Buhari is the one in the helm of affairs up there. So they can perpetrate all their evils and they can get away with it. So the man he has his own focus. He has his own target. So it could finally sue Sunday Igboho at the end of the day. If the man finally gets the 30 billion, which I know he will not get it. Nigerian government is a lawless country. They will never pay you. I cite the example of Baba Suwe. Nigerian court awarded him some money for compensation for how NDLA treated him. The man didn't get the money till the man died. So Nigerian government has never paid anything as any court has ruled against them because they have the power, they have the veto power. So the man is just talking rubbish. He doesn't have any influence in his case in Benin Republic, but the man he took Sunday Igboho as his enemy. So he can speak anything, anyhow he wants. No man.
Oh, all right, thank you. So, Thomas, let me go on to X0, and I want to put to you, X0, the Rotimi Amaechi turbaning in DAURA. So, quite a very odd thing. I mean, you know, there's no correlation. Rotimi Amaechi, a man from the creeks, DAURA, a space in the desert. You know, what exactly? But then, of course, Rotimi Amaechi, the transport minister, who has cited the Transportation University in DAURA against public opprobrium, that why would you place sort of an important institution in a place that is just in the middle of nowhere that has nothing to offer? So all of that in the mix, Rotimi Amaechi to be turbanned on the 5th of February. What says you, X0?
This man, Rotimi Amaechi, he has been a laughingstock for a while now. I'll chronicle some of his activities and why I think the way I feel the way I feel about him. You know, there was a time that his audio leaked where he was, you know, talking about the current president of Nigeria and how he doesn't seem to care about all the criticisms and the cries of the people. You know, one of the major statements he made in that leak was, Buhari, farmers are crying, bricklayers are crying. You know, he just mentioned that everybody is crying in this administration. I think ever since that leak, this administration has not found him trustworthy. They could not, you know, the Fulanis, once you are not even their tribe, they cannot put you into their inner caucus. And when you go out leaking those kind of secrets, you know that you are just there to fill up the space. You're just statistics. They just use you, but you will never be anything. So I don't think Amaechi is trying to get at being the president, or I don't think he has any political ambition in that chieftaincy title.
I've heard him mentioned. I've heard him mentioned in the 2023 discussions.
No, anybody who's going to be in 2023 would have already. You would have started hearing their names now. There's no gimmick in coming out late. You are no Superman. Even a Superman wants to become president in Nigeria, you start hearing his name in 2021. So I don't think there's anybody who's going to say we don't know those who want to come out in 2023, unless you are from a small party. But all the bigger parties, we already know the options they have. You know, so I think Amaechi, they just want to compensate him with that. But as for becoming anything in this, he's the biggest loser in this government because he used the whole of River State money.
You know, he sold some electricity assets that
Yes.
I think who was the governor before him that did a lot for that state? I can't recall his name now. He was probably the best governor until we came now. So he built this infrastructure for electricity, and Amaechi sold it off during his administration.
Wasn't that Odili?
Orderly, yes, orderly built that, and then Amaechi sold it off during his administration for a pittance, less than 40% of the market value of that thing, and then he cascaded that money into the Buhari train then in 2014, 2015. So this guy,
Yes.
he looted, and the whole of the budget for his state, by the way, 2 years running, he just cascaded everything into the Buhari train.
Yes, because they promised him to become the vice president. The news that time was he was going to become vice president. So he betrayed everybody betrayable. Everybody betrayable. And even when the Buhari administration, they didn't give him the vice presidency, I don't know what else they promised him. And he kept on betraying. He took he made sure that the former
Does it strike you as an odd man, just in terms of his physiology, the way he looks?
Of course, he's an odd man. He's an odd man because yes, it's very odd. If you see most of the people in this administration or most politicians, what you will discover is that there's something that is really, really odd about them. One, they have eternal lust for insatiable appetite for money and power, and they will do everything. They can lie, cheat, kill just to retain relevance. So this man has betrayed to being relevant, and that's not enough. He has committed all Nigeria's funds. He's the one borrowing all those money for the presidency without reading the Chinese language. He signed documents.
How can you sign a document written in Chinese?
Yeah. So that's the kind of traitor he is. And those documents were the ones that led to those that videotape that you see where somebody was saying, off your mic. That was during that period they were interviewing him when he was saying that they signed documents, and if he doesn't think that the loan is good enough, he will not sign. That was the same period they were interviewing him, and they were interviewing that other former governor of Akwa Ibom.
Do you speak Yoruba, Xero?
Yes, of course. I'm Yoruba.
Okay. Do you know the word emere? When they say something is an emere, sort of like a demon, not quite a demon,
yeah,
but something of the other world. That guy strikes me, Rotimi Amaechi. He strikes me as something of the other world, and I think it's his eyes that freaks me out the most. He's just he's a weird looking man with freakish eyes, and they say his preference is not for his preference is more for Emeka than Amaka. Do you understand? They say his preference is more for this is what they say. That his preference is more for Emeka than Amaka. This is the rumor about.
Is it on the receiving end or giving?
I don't know. But that's just the rumor about this guy. That his preference is more for Emeka than Amaka. But there it is. Just a strange fellow.
But if you look at him, really, most of the things he does,
there is something of the Bobrisky about him.
just to deviate from that, please. If you look at him, really, some of the things he does or he has done are things that, makes families to ostracize a person. Because you cannot, if you remember, there's one guy that wanted to do good for Nigeria. His name was Ibe Kachuku. It was a first-class material in everything. When they were talking about the Maritime University and how they were building it in the rivers or somewhere in the Niger Delta, and then Amaechi came and stopped it and transferred that university to DAURA because of what I don't know, just to take away from his own people. That's so shameless. I don't know. And people like this with short sight, he doesn't know that after this administration, he's going to live somewhere. Where is he going to live? If you also recall, because I have a sharp memory of these guys, chronologically, how he was attacked somewhere in Spain. So that tells you that this guy has no hiding place in the West. There's nowhere he's not going to meet people that are going to attack him. Is he going to go to Saudi Arabia or Dubai? And it is not even liked in his party because of those leaks, those audio leaks. So this man is, to be sincere with you, he's finished. He's finished.
He has Canadian citizenship.
And he's going to live in Canada where we have Nigerians that want to destroy his life. If they see him anywhere, He'll be lynched. That's what I'm telling you. They will stone him. Where is he going to live in peace?
But it's zero. If APC becomes the president in 2023, they will give him another position.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That is what they are doing now by combining him. Somebody's going to hide him somewhere.
What other position can he get though? He has been a two-term governor. He has been a two-term minister. So would they just give him another ministerial position?
They can give him special advisor to something. You know,
if he's not vice president, secretary to the government, or the president, those are the three spaces left open for him. So
like in football,
other persons go to the Senate and sleep with the rest of and fall asleep as they all do.
Like in football, when you end up to a certain level, the club start negotiating downward review to be so that
that was how they got rid of that was how they got rid of Messi.
Yes,
because they can't sell the club to pay you.
Yes. He cannot go any further now because he's no longer. He doesn't have that pedigree, that credibility anymore. And at the same time, look at the likes of Obieze Ekwesili. He's now in Anambra State, to help the state because he cannot aspire further because the space up there is not for his party at the moment. So they are now. So he's going to negotiate his way to a downward review where he will be protected from lynching until people forget about him. But now,
and the Nigerian political space can be quite cruel. If you are no longer relevant, they'll just cast you adrift. They are not going to. They say, "Shebi, you've stolen your own bit. Go and use that money to protect yourself." Now.
Exactly. Exactly. And then when you are dealing with a Buhari is already knows that you cannot hold him to ransom because if you just bring out your file, you stole money. Even if you stole that money for the APC, he will tell you that he didn't ask you to steal for him.
Do you know that is part of the issues that Buhari is having with Tinubu? He finds Tinubu to corrupt, knowing full well that it was that corruption that Tinubu committed that propelled him, Buhari, into power. But now he finds him too smelly. So now that you have used him, now he's smelling to you.
Of course. Buhari is a user. Even these Fulani people, headsmen that were killing everywhere, do you see now they have retracted? They are now begging for, because Buhari has used everybody. And now Buhari is safe. He's going to claim dementia and everybody's going to...
Yes, it's going to turn his back on those Fulani headsmen, and in the last of his administration, he's going to savage them. That is what he will do.
Seriously. Because Buhari himself, he has a hidden anger towards Nigeria for what they did to his first military administration. You know how they yanked him off without allowing him to complete.
And he's a vengeful man. He's not a.
He's a vindictive man. He even says that he came in, he arrested people who stole money. The government said no, you have to try them, so he had to release them. So he's angry that this time around he's not going to arrest. He's going to allow the law to deal with them. But he's protecting his own those he's using.
Do you think it's essentially a revenge mission administration? That
of course, Buhari was
the revenge mission.
Buhari was not having that much money when he left power. Now the kind of money he's stealing, that Buhari is stealing, it's not fraud.
They said his son is the richest son of a president, the fourth richest son of a ruler in the world. This use of known source of income.
Of course. Buhari is stealing left, right, and center, but you will not pinpoint one thing to him because it is his collaborators. But Buhari has ensured his generations, 5 more generations to come, will never work. That is what he has come to do, just to steal, because he realizes that Nigerians have turned their backs on him before. When he came in, arrested people, without trying, and said, you stole, go in here, you stole. And then they turned their back on him and they even reduced his tenure and they removed him. Now he came in to steal, period. Look at the kind of money we are stealing. Look at the kind of money they are stealing. They are borrowing. No human being, even you will not advise your child to go borrowing money to sustain his family. You tell him if you don't have, well, eat 101. Reduce, yes. But for him to be doing this to Nigeria, It means he doesn't love the country. He hates the people, and he only cares about himself. But he's going to use everybody against each other until his tenure finish, and then he will wipe out his hand, and you cannot pinpoint one thing to him. And he has succeeded in doing that. He has succeeded in doing that. Look at, okay, if you want to doubt me, why did he give this thing to what's his name? This one that killed for him so much, that's now in Cotonou. Buratai.
Yeah.
Why do you have to make somebody who is retiring an ambassador just to protect him from international law? He has used that guy. He used the guy to wipe out a lot of people. The guy killed, he hates Shiites. He killed a lot of Shiites for this guy.
Yes.
He killed a lot of people for this guy. And then to compensate him, they gave him ambassador. So nobody, because that's a
there are so many wars that Buhari is fighting. He's fighting the Shiite Sunni war in Nigeria on the instructions of his masters from Arab world, because they are fighting it's an ideological divide. The Iranians, the Shiites, and the rest of them, the Sunnis. So he wants to ravage it. Nigeria is already 90% Sunni, but he wants to savage the Shiites completely out of the space.
This guy dealt with all his perceived enemies without leaving one out.
So, and then he went after Dasuki, a coward, Buhari. He wanted to go after Babangida, but I thought he thought that would just be too messy. So you just tied Dasuki to the desk, it chained him. And then he's still fighting the Biafran war. He's fighting the Yorubas. He's fighting everybody.
All his enemies. No one was spared. The only thing that could save your life is to keep quiet. But Obasanjo was beginning to be too loud, and the warning came to him. Did you see how Obasanjo kept his calm? And the same thing with the Igbos are suffering it from left, right, center. At the port where they are clearing their goods, they've heard rhetorics like, you are going to pay double for your own importation. You're going to pay double import duty for no just cause. You have heard rhetorics like, we will push you into the lagoon. And when Buhari came, when this Oba of Lagos said that, Buhari said, that was the infancy of his administration. He said, the Igbos should be on the right side of the center. As a president, somebody made such comments as pushing a particular ethnic group
you see, this
lagoon.
Is why I keep saying this guy is a warlord. He's not really a president. And I don't say that to be disparaging. The tone and texture and feel and pronouncement of the guy is more akin to a warlord than a democratic president. So he's fighting tribal and religious sentiments and biases and prejudices.
Of course.
So this is what he's fighting. And it's a man in his 80s. So he's not learning anything new. What he has always
he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. If you read, because I'm quite vast with the history of Nigeria, it's just that I'm not good at pinpointing particular dates and times. But I read the Nigerian history, or one man they called Murtala. Do you see how Murtala appeared on the 20 Naira notes? And he has an airport. If there's even a Murtala center in Kaduna as we speak, that man was a war criminal. That was the man that savaged people in Anioma when the war had ended. That was the man that was instrumental to the demise of the Ironsi. He, as a junior officer, he was one of those officers who could speak to the northern talks among the military, and they will listen. That was how they were able to bring down Ironsi. That was how he has been like that from time during the Biafran War. When they ended the war, he committed genocide in Anioma, where they went to massacre people. This man, Pat Utomi, was among those to be slaughtered that day. He was lucky. His father was a known celebrity. So one of the army officers recognized him and told him, "Where are you going?" He said he was going this way. The army officer now stopped him and took him along. That was how he escaped death that day, when Murtala organized the Northern talks to kill. And after that war, every now and then they used to do military exercise of shooting officers who continued killing people from the east. if you go to YouTube, you see some of those videos
I
where
don't
some
know
of them.
about that. You see,
No, yeah,
you always take
yeah.
it to
No, I'm telling you,
you know, this
because
is what you do.
sometimes,
Now
sometimes,
you force me
no,
to push
please,
back,
no,
and then
please.
people will call me
Mo ti sọ fún yín
anti-Igbo.
pé ọmọ Yorùbá
Okay.
ni mí, mi ò parọ́, but I have to be sincere, I have to be truthful to you. I read and I even saw clips, footage. These clips, they don't call them clips, they call them footages. Those are footages that don't even have pure sound, but you see the narrator speaking. This officer was caught, they killed 2 or 5 people in a place. After the war, these things happened a lot of times. There was what's it called? Those things they used to do at Bar Beach and all those things. Firing squad. They used to kill some of them in firing squad. Those are the military days, So this current president has those days still in his head.
Yeah,
it's
still fighting the Biafran war. He's still angry about the people that he lost, the injustice that he feels happened, the resentment that he has for the Igbo, the narrative that he's still fighting that. He's fighting he's fighting the Shiites. He resents how he was taken out of power. He detests the Yorubas for being cunning. He dislikes the Igbos for being savagery and killing their Saldana. And then he wants to propel his own tribe. So it's just carrying. It's just this. It's just and it's not especially educated or intelligent. So all of that in the mix.
The one thing that supports him so much is that Nigeria is a space where once you become president, you become the most powerful man in the world if the world gives you a chance. Because Nigeria is now under your feet. It's a unitary system that is so backward that allows a president to do and undo. No respect for the judiciary. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. You're just at the mercy of this guy. That's simply put.
And the failing of that system is highlighted by this administration. So if that level of power is vested on an element like Buhari, what is happening now is what would happen. So this just tells us the fundamental flaws of the Nigerian space, the constitution.
Of course.
So it just tells you, but our heritage, this is what we are contending with.
But there was a great politician in the world, I've forgotten his name. I'm not good at remembering those names, but I know those quotes. He said about America, one day our evil thoughts will manifest in the president, and we will see firsthand.
They nearly had that with Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that is what happened with Buhari. Because for years,
the world is latching towards like almost like a far right sort of inclination.
Yes.
Because the prime minister in the UK is somewhat of a right wing hawk, a racist. The last president in America, he's a gold standard far right hawk and a racist. And Buhari, an ethnic bigot of the extreme right, So extremists.
Look at the one in Uganda, Museveni. Look at what he's been doing to Bobby Wine.
That one, they want to kill that guy. If he could, he would. There was a time they surrounded his house with yes. No, that's who Showore wants to be. But nobody likes Showore. That's just his problem. Showore wants to be Bobby Wine. With his, he's even started wearing the ridiculous beret. He started wearing the ridiculous beret.
I don't want to go there because
what are your thoughts on that Showore? Is he a young man? Am I right to call him a young man?
See, one time I went to the Nigerian Union here and I spoke about Showore. I said we have to come out for this guy because they kidnapped him. They didn't arrest him. That is the kind of person I am. I don't want to know your grouse against this guy. I will ask you, is it wrong that Showore is mounting protests against his government? No. Do you want him to be a martyr before you now recognize him for what he's doing for you? Sometimes you have to live. Yes, for you. No, this guy was look, for every time anybody who's standing in front of this government, in front of
self-serving young man.
But listen, anybody who's standing in front of this barbaric military, this barbaric government, is standing for you, because these are just like the last guards. If these guys go down, we don't have nobody.
You know what is standing? Should I tell you what is standing? He is actually standing in the way. That is what is standing, not for, but in the way.
So who should stand in front, and who should we stand behind?
That person cannot come through. If people like Sowore and Kano, they are occupying space, we need these people out of the space so that the space can breathe and breathe a real champion. We need a champion, you know.
Okay, and you don't have any champion in mind.
Well, because the space is so crowded with the noisemakers.
You see? So that's it. If a person can stand in front of Buhari and speak, or in front of his military, who are so drunken in love with their master, I give that person high regards, because these things I cannot do. I cannot just go and stand in front of the Nigerian military. I will be dead. This man has
is the space even the narrative of confrontation, of physical action, or is it more an intellectual space? What does
it's an intellectual space.
What does it require? The Sowore, Victoria, Asata, Luta? Is that what we need for now? Or do we need a more nuanced, a more clever approach?
I'm so sorry you see it that way. For one, Sowore has never raised his arm to hit anybody, not to talk of carry weapons.
Yes.
So he's still on intellectual space. Don't forget that Delegiwa didn't have to go to protest before he was bombed. Instead of you to stand behind the man who is of intellectual capacity, who has a thriving media space, stand behind him rather than sit at home, because everybody is still going to be bombed in their homes.
We are all going to eat
Why
breakfast,
not come out? We are all going to eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Because if you don't come out and participate, the way you are sounding like this, you're not even going to come out on election day. It requires of us, the intellectuals, the elite, to come out. That is what is required. But because these people know that we are scared for our lives, because we have invested in our children and we want them to see us tomorrow, so we will not risk our life. That is why they have the impunity of making such laws, of appointing a Fulani as head of the Supreme Court, of appointing the head of the military Fulani, of making the central bank to give them all our money, of breaking the law and order of the country, and allowing the Fulanis to enter all the forests.
105. He was the honorary president of the St.
You know?
Luke's International Hospital.
It's because me and you, we love our life so much. And the truth is, he who loves his life will lose it. We will lose it. If you don't begin to understand.
This is life, we love it. What are you talking about?
No, he who does not want to come out. If we don't come out, they will come to our homes and expunge us. We are almost there.
It's just who to rally behind, you know. It's who to rally behind.
At the moment, those who are standing in front of these guys, they are not too bad. They have shown us that they have the strength to stand in front of these guys. Why not we stand behind them? I'm telling you, for me, I cannot stand in front of the Nigerian military. That brute. Because I'm not known. So they can just extinguish me and nobody will know. But Sowore has built his name. So he's known. That's why they cannot take him down. Because there will be so much outcry in the world. You know? But who am I? That is why I should support him in every way I can. And any other person that comes in front of this barbaric brute force, I will always stand behind. Because everything has gone down. The currency, the money has depreciated so badly. And never in history has Nigerian Naira gotten back to where it was. Never in the history. So Nigerian Naira is dead forever. Imagine what will happen if the Nigerian Naira will go back to 1 Naira to $1. Do you know how rich everybody in that country will be? But do you think that's possible for your 1,000 naira to become $1,000? That's why I say Nigeria naira is dead. It will never get up. It will never get up, because if it gets up, a lot of people will be rich. We start buying properties in Europe and America. So that's not possible, because it's never in the history, it's never in the character of Nigeria or Nigerian government to make its people rich. The Inec itself is dead. It will never go against this Buhari or APC. So all this blah 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 that this Yakubu guy is talking, just nonsense. That man is the worst. From Jega to this guy, they just know their way. The worst INEC we've ever had. These guys they just take victory and mount it to the enemies and say, go ye and deal with Nigerians. That's what we are facing. Sometimes I speak like this not because I'm trying to be too forceful, but I speak with so much spirit, because we watch this country graduate or deplete from one step to the other to the last. A president that can allow people to go and collect money from central bank to go on pilgrimage at reduced, subsidized, discounted rates, but will make the person who wants to take money to go and do business, the person who is employing labor, to pay double. In the same Nigeria that we are crying, why are we crying? We were doing this on purpose. He knows that his own allies in his region are okay as long as their people are poor, because that's their permanent status. But it is affecting the South more, because in the South, we are more democratized when it comes to wealth creation. Everyone for himself, and everyone builds wealth. Why is it that whenever the Southerner is president, the country begins to increase? But when the Northerner is there, the country begins to deplete.
You know, that's an actual fact, what you just said.
It's a true fact.
Under Obasanjo, the country propelled rapidly, even though
Yes.
he met completely debilitated economy from Abdul
Yes.
Salami. Under Goodluck Jonathan, it fast-forwarded rapidly, no matter what you say about that guy. But as soon as Buhari came in, the headline, he met $2.1 billion in the crude account. It's $35 billion now. What's happened to $2 billion? If you ask me, I will shoot you. This is just
a fact. It's a fact. Because even the elite in the North that know the truth, that when they become president, they can make the country progress. They will not allow them. Because in their region, there is a ladder. There is a strata. You have to obey the top. Otherwise, you will not even get there. There are so many.
Do you think we're just too different from these people? Is that really the thing? Are we just too different as a people?
Mentality-wise, we are too different. Too different. The northern man is not built with a competitive spirit.
They don't seem to understand what we are arguing about, and we can't really understand why they don't get it. So they think we don't get it. We know they don't get it.
If I tell you something, you say I'm taking it to the east again. But I'll give you an instance. Because
Don't fight.
This is something that happened. I think in Katsina or Kaduna. There was a woman who was lynched. She had a store in a shopping complex. She had a store in quite a favorable position. There's another man that sells the same thing, but he had his own store inside. So every 1 o'clock, I think, this man comes in front of this woman's store to pray. He was, trying to gaslight this woman into being lynched because they sell the same things. He wants to block this woman. So when the customers come, he will direct them to his own store. I don't know what happened, but every time he comes in front of the woman's store to pray. And when the Muslim man is praying, it is taboo to interrupt him. So this woman always tells him, but man, you cannot be coming to my shop, in front of my shop to pray. You can stay in front of the shop to pray. This thing continued for a while, and one day there was an altercation, and this man called his fellow Islamic extremists that this woman has blasphemed. That was how they lynched that woman in that market. Out of jealousy that was quoted in his religious beliefs. You see that? That is the thing. The typical northerner, I'm sorry to use this word, but it's not built with a competitive spirit, with the spirit of we must be better. No, it's built with the spirit of...
They are not really built for enterprise, is what we're saying.
Yeah,
they're not built for enterprise. They don't know how to generate income. So this is why you will meet $2 billion rather than think to increase that to $5 billion. You steal everything,
you spend it,
and then you start to borrow, and then you steal that, and then you borrow some more, and then you steal that as well. So they don't. This is why I'm saying, are we too different? Because they don't understand the concept of growth and development and wealth creation. They just think there's resources which provides money. Therefore, we continue to milk the resources for the money. The way they say this, the way the northerners, the northern Nigerians, the way they live in Saudi Arabia, even the Arabs don't spend money the way these people spend money in Saudi Arabia.
No, they don't.
Because
this is free money. Free money. It's free money. Well, and it is only when things started. It was only when things started getting very tough in Nigeria that Nigerians from the south began to say things the way it is. That look, listen. The way the ordinary pedestrian man speaks, it say, "Hausa, una no sabi lead." Because you just go there and you think it's just to get money. What are you imputing into the economy?
What are you imputing? So X0, the country has been held by one stranglehold pretty much from independence till date. So we know what we're contending with. These people, they've held the country through one vehicle and one vehicle alone, and that is force. So they tell us that the pen is mightier than the sword, and we say we're cleverer than these people. So if we are cleverer than these people, and we already know that they only have one tool in their toolkit, which is Danladi get the guns. So how do we counter that force with intellect? Where is this intelligence that we vaunt all the time? We know what we're contending with, so why have we not been able to surmount it?
The reason why we've not been able to surmount this, I'll just give you two because there are several, but I'll give you two. I think these two reasons suffice it. One is because the Southerner always believes that no matter the situation, he will still use his competitiveness and get something for himself. At least he will be better than his neighbor. I better pass my neighbor. It's what pushed us to this level. I better pass my neighbor. Because when the country is getting worse and one man finds a way to go abroad, he and his family are made for life. Then the others can be watching them build their house, get generator, get light. So they will be talk of the community. They forget that if it is not well for everybody, it is not well for anybody. That is why when things became like this, even you who is abroad, they will kidnap your brother or your sister. Everybody has to be well. Otherwise, we will not all be well. The second reason why we have been so docile is because the country is so rich that even bad leadership does not really penetrate to the lower level that much. Not until after Jonathan did we begin to see that even the small hustle that we used to pay us no longer pay us. Even the farms, you cannot even go to the farms anymore. The country is so rich that you can have a bad leader and we can still be progressing. But Buhari ensured that that is not possible. We are so rich that even if they swindle trillions of dollars, as long as you don't block the places where the southern man can go and hustle, he will still bring some income to his house. But Buhari succeeded in closing all those gaps. Fulani men in the forests, military checkpoints in the roads, excessive import duties at the ports, police and SAF disturbing everybody. I mean, even Twitter was banned. What is remaining now? What? Where all the places we ran to, even what is it called? This money something on the computer. What is it called? That one that has now crashed again.
Crypto.
That they closed to go. Crypto was removed. They are even kidnapped. They are even arresting comedians. All these skit makers. Who is safe? You can be walking around and police will take you to.
There was one that the Navy locked up for just comedy skits.
Yes. And police is harassing everybody to the ATM. Who is safe? It only remains for everybody to sit inside their house and starve to death. That's why everybody is crying. Because before the country, of course, the country was bad from time now. But we are still surviving. Some of us went abroad and we are sending to our families. We are happy. Some people still have hope of going abroad and their family are still having hope. But now, there's no hope. Hopelessness is everywhere. Everybody's now eating people's shit to get rich, killing people to get rich, stealing pants to get rich. I mean, all sorts of
there's been all manners of craze in the night. Remember, 2-3 years ago, it was that pants stealing that was the rich.
Yes.
Now it's
what
body
about
parts.
the one that eating shit?
They are harvesting body parts. There was one young lady that was reading the narrative of. She went out, and the mom, you should always listen to your mother. When she wanted to go out, the mother says she does have the habit of going out and staying overnight sometimes. But she wanted to go out, and the mother was moved to say, "Do you really want to go this time?" But she just said, "Oh, don't worry, mom," and whatnot. But the mom was a bit reticent about her going. But then she went, she didn't come back the next day, and then the next day. But she doesn't have the habit of staying 2 nights away. When they found this girl, they found her just by some polytechnic in Jos. Her internals completely hollowed out. They've harvested So from remember 2-3 years ago, they were stealing pants. Now they are harvesting human parts.
Body parts. Yes. Yeah. There was a man. They caught like 15 of them from a bus or 20. They kidnapped them, and then right in front of this woman, they were telling them, "Oh yeah, call your people, call your people." No money. Right in front of the woman, they killed like 10. It got to the woman's turn. The woman was lucky to call her people, and her people said, "Okay, they are going to send the money tomorrow," and they gave them the phone. That was what saved the woman. The others, they whacked all of them. And as they were cutting them, they said they were putting their body parts in ice block. So they intended to go and sell those ones. Then somehow you must be economical. There's something you must give them. If you don't give them the cash, they will sell you in pieces. And that's how
you see what befuddles me is they'll go to these babalawos who live in one room, face me, I face you, to go and do voodoo money. If the babalawo knows how to make voodoo money, why is he living in face me, I face you?
It's squalor.
Yeah. You know?
And they've been giving them these crazy ideas. I don't know how these babalawos, whether they live in the soccer way, because the kind of crazy ideas they give these people. Some time ago, they were using mortar to bust people's brains.
There was one that I saw. This was in the East. This guy, God just saved the girl. He'd dug a hollow grave, a hollow space in his room, and he'd invited his girlfriend to bury her alive. But just commotion, or maybe it was a child or something. There was that clip. I wanted to bring it here, but it was too graphic. It's just so wild.
One man, wild. It was his landlord. It was his landlord's child or something like that. Yes,
it's just so wild. And
he wanted to bury. He's living inside the landlord's house, trying to bury the son or the child in that hole. It's just pathetic, my brother. So it's pathetic.
Oh my God!
You see, one man. You are a Christian. I am a Christian. You do in the Bible. That is why they say that. On the last day, he said, love will grow old. He said, man, love will grow old. People will be lovers of money than lovers of God. These are some of the things that is, just imagine.
But Vin,
yes, sir.
Vin, Europeans who brought Christianity to us, Here in Scandinavia, they're no longer going to church. They only go to church when they want to do their baptism, and then they forget
You know they
because
are turning the
they know.
churches into apartments here in
Yeah,
they are turning it into apartments.
yeah. So it's not about
Do you,
sincerity; it's
do you
rather
know why?
human feeling.
Do you know why? Even the
Mm.
Babalawos, the DBS, the Alphas, and the rest of them, they find out that most of the things that they were doing before, people are no longer patronizing them because of how dirty the environment was. They have changed, transformed themselves, wear a suit, wear Babariga, wear the Ishiago and the rest of them. Then they build church
Mm-hmm.
and enter church. When you go to the church, you see a clean place. A very well
Uh,
furnished area. Who would like to go there?
Do
Xero, why do you think they no longer go to the church in Scandinavia? Because I have a
oh,
theory about this. Because it's the same
uh,
experience here. But
my my
what are your
theory
yeah?
my theory is simple. My theory is simple. These people, I will tell you the way I feel about it. If you want to disagree, you can disagree.
Go on.
They use the church when they wanted to enter and take slaves and all those. Because the one thing I don't agree with is forgiveness. They use the church when they wanted to take slaves, and then they use those because those churches were used to tame people and tell people forgive. Your place is to be serving, to serve. While they were bringing in Christianity, they were taking your resources and taking slaves.
Okay. No, that's one thing. Let me tell you what I think the
Please, one
reasons
man.
are. Yeah,
Please, one man. I beg of
hold
you. I
on.
beg of
Yeah,
you.
hold on, Vin.
Okay.
Let me tell you
Okay.
the reason why I feel they no longer take to religion in the West. I think they
Mm,
have they have found science to replace what they look to religion for, because
mm-hmm,
religion, a lot of people use it to fill the gap that life cannot solve for them. Medical
mm-hmm.
needs of want. So if you look at a lot
Yeah.
of these Western societies, they've perfected a medical system that
Mm-hmm.
establishes a baseline of health for their population. They live forever.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of food. You have a roof over your head. You are warm, secure, and safe by the largesse of the state. They've developed through science and wealth, and
Yeah.
insulation to guarantee a base level minimum life for their for
Yeah.
their for their population. So
Yeah.
these are the things that underdeveloped countries
But
look
of
to
course,
religion
it's the
for.
same.
So
It's the same thing.
you are looking to religion for your health needs in Nigeria. You are looking to religion for money. You are looking to religion for protection. But in the West, the states have already covered that. So I think that might
But
well be the reason why they don't.
religion was
Yeah.
political because the same time where they were taking slaves because they didn't have the industrial revolution. Once they had the industrial revolution, they stopped taking slaves. You think they stopped taking slaves because they loved human beings?
Well, no,
They
but
stopped taking slaves because they had options. Machines were now doing those jobs. So they now have no use for the slaves. You
all right.
know?
Vin, you wanted
Yeah.
to come in? Vin? Oh, I think we've
Yeah,
lost Vin.
yes, one man.
Yeah.
One man. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, carry on.
I wanted to plead with the platform and you as the driver, the piloter of this platform that my daughter is six years old today, 22nd January. If
Oh,
you hear
brilliant.
any noise at the
Oh,
background, they
well,
are there.
no, that's fantastic. I hope you got a very big
Congra-
cake.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not just me. The school she's attending is one of the popular school in Ghana here. So everywhere is just busting.
Oh, no, we
So
can hear
if you
them
hear
in the.
any
Oh no,
noise around,
no,
just forgive me.
no.
Con-
We like we
con-
like
con-
we like to hear those noises when Professor Brataho comes with his
That's
daughter.
okay. That, that,
Yeah.
that, that, that was what I wanted to say.
No, that's brilliant.
Okay.
Congratulations, anyways.
Thank you, sir. Thank
No, that's
you,
good.
sir.
The landmark ages are 5, 11, and then when you hit your teens, 13, and then 18,
Yeah.
21, and then so she's that's another threshold that she has crossed. So well done. Keep up
Yeah.
the good work. Huh?
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, boss. Thank you, sir. Medal, sir. In Ghana, you have the same medal, sir. Medal, sir. Now go there.
Don't Igbo fire her though. Don't turn her Igbo. Let her be a normal person. Don't turn her into Igbo.
No. This is one man. This is not Igbo. This is fun. This is Ghana. I say Medal, I say. Now go there. Then I use the Hausa to cover it.
All right, brilliant.
Mr. Bean.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We will consult you later because we want to. Since Nigeria is no longer favorable, I hope that Ghana we can start sending our families to Ghana so that the country Nigeria will not finish everybody.
If I speak now, one man will say it's a small country, we don't have anything, that they will come and colonize us.
You know, me too. I'm looking to other African countries that might well be safe, like Sierra Leone, that will be friendly to a Yoruba person.
One man, let me tell you one thing. One man, let me tell you one thing. If you want to,
Nigeria, you know,
look, I am not happy that people are giving up on Nigeria. People have shown, resentment on Nigeria simply because of the kind of leaders that we have and the followers that don't want to disengage themselves from these corrupt politicians and leaders that we have. If they will be able to disengage themselves and do what is right in that country, Nigeria, you will need visa. Ghanaians, I will need visa to come to Nigeria. I'm telling you this truth. I will need visa to come to Nigeria. South Africans will need visa to come to Nigeria. Other African countries will need visa to come to Nigeria because of how that country will be bustling with wealth, with knowledge, with civilization and technology. I do not know if there is anybody in this platform or listening to me will argue me on that. Nigeria has the capacity to do it, but Nigeria has bad leadership and bad economic policies. That is the problem.
Mr. Vin, it's not that Nigeria has bad leadership. That is why we are running. It's because Nigeria doesn't seem to be interested in good leadership or a good country in the next century to come.
Okay.
Because you see how they have faced the Inec, faced the leaders, faced the military. How are you going to, even the House of Assembly, they can't even do anything.
I don't even think it's any of that. You know what I think? I think it's just the fear for our lives. Because bad leadership.
Yes, one man, you see, the fear for your life. Hold
on.
Yeah, one man, the fear for your life.
Hold on, Navin. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, bad leadership, bad economy, bad everything. You can contend with that. You don't want it, but you can contend with it. But the fear for your life is real and imminent and immediate in Nigeria. You are in fear for your life from the man next to you, from the man in uniform, from the man wearing a suit. You are in fear of your life on a bus. You are on the streets, in your own home. You are just in perpetual fear of your life. And that fear for your life is it's not paranoia. It's a real, fundamental and an immediate fear. Countless stories we hear. Countless, just strange. Somebody is on the bus, they harvest their body, they use voodoo on them, they use guns on them, the police stop them, they gun them down, the army come, they shoot them down, it's just that fear. Everything else you can contend with, but it's just that fear for your life in Nigeria.
You see, one man, it boils down to good, bad leadership. If you have good leadership, the security will be up and doing. Where you are, you have CCTVs. People are not dwelling on old, archaic system of investigative journalism or investigation. Nobody dwells on that. You have cameras. You have central data that will pick up your fingerprint, your eye, in fact, all the AIs now that is coming into place. This is the reason why people are afraid to commit any crime. If the government of Nigeria, with the enormous resources that they have, haven't you heard that so much billions of dollars were voted for CCTV installation in Abuja? Where are they? When you install all these things in there, you will find out that crime you will not eradicate crime as long as human being is concerned. But what you will do, you will put up measures to at least curb it, to reduce it to a minimal level where people, when they walk on the street, they will not be looking on their shoulders if somebody is chasing them. It boils down to bad leadership. If there is good leadership in Lagos, there will be CCTV that will be controlling and watching everybody at any given time. In Abuja, the same thing.
Mr.
In
Vin,
Anambra, same thing. In Kano, the
Mr.
same
Vin,
thing. But in as much as these things are not there, people will have that kind of, let me say, excuse to do whatever they do because they know that nobody will arrest them. If the government
Mr.
is
Vin,
doing what they're supposed to do, all these things will not be happening. My brother, I
Oh,
still
oh, oh,
Mr.
insist
Vin,
it's on bad
oh,
leadership.
all right.
Mr. Vin,
Let Exiro have the final word, and then I'll round off because
Mr.
I've
Vin,
gone past the
yeah,
hour mark. So the final word to you,
yeah,
Exiro. Yeah.
Mr. Vin, as we were saying about bad leadership was what we were discussing, and then one man asked me why I think the country was this bad, and I explained. And so told him about the two things I can pick out was because the country is so rich, so we were so comfortable, even with bad leaders, we were still okay until we
Exactly.
had the devil himself, and then of course, Nigeria has been bad from day one, but when you have the devil, everything is blocked. But Mr. Bean, I wanted to ask you, why do you think
Yes,
what's
sir.
the fundamental reason why a country progresses? Because I don't think we have hit it. It's not economy. It's not economy. It's not tourism. It's not it's not a good leadership. But it is faith. Faith is
Yeah.
the reason why a country progresses. No matter how many economic theories you practice, if the people don't have collective faith in that country, the country will never rise. How do you
Then
build
who make
faith?
them to have that collective faith?
Yeah, good. You build faith with what is and what is to be. What is right now is a bad leadership.
What gobbledygook? What are you talking about, my man? You were doing so well. You were doing so well. What are you?
Ciro, let me answer. Let me just interject a little.
Let me conclude so that maybe you doesn't understand what I'm saying.
No, you're talking yam now. You're talking yam.
Faith. Okay, Mr. Woman. After this conversation, maybe you can just Google faith in country and see what it can do. You see, a country can go from
patriotism. Patriotism is
that is faith. Yeah, exactly. That is faith. That is faith. A country can go from 0 to 50% with just faith. With just faith. And then every other thing can start coming in to make the country flourish.
Now, Ciro,
without that faith, we cannot get
it. See.
Yes.
What the patriotism you see in Nigeria is what Buhari is offering to Nigerians?
No.
That is why you see some people are allowed to carry. That is why you see some people are allowed to carry assault rifles and invade your ancestral home, and nobody queries them. And when they are even arrested, by chance they are arrested, the following day you see them on the street. It happened in Cross River. It happened in Akwa Ibom State. If things were done the right way, all these things will not happen. You will see everybody will feel belong to that particular cause. You see, for me, patriotism does not even have anything to do apart from those that are upheld. You voted them into power to do yes, sir.
Mr. Vin, even Jonathan's administration was bad. Even Buhari's, Obasanjo's administration was bad. We are not talking about we don't have a good example. We don't have a good example. We are only
as far as Nigeria is concerned, there is no good example.
So hold on, Exiro. You say we don't have a good example, and we say they are all bad, but they are in varying degrees of bad. So has there been, and this will be the last question, and I want Exiro to address it, and then I'll shut down after that. Which will be the one example in the history of Nigeria that you will say was somebody that created the direction that the country should have stuck with. So out of the bad, what little good have you identified in the totality
Like
of the Nigerian experience?
I think right now my eye became clearer. You know, I told you that first time that it was during the first Prime Minister Azikiwe time. That was at Tafawa Balewa. Yes, my eye has become very clear now that the reason why I said that was because of faith. Because that time the country was still fresh and there was a lot of faith. That was when we were truly, yes, we were giants. You know, but after that time we dwindled. We only saw snippets in regions like what Awolowo did and what Sami Bakwe did and all those things. But we've never collectively as a nation.
No, not Samba, Michael Okpara, right?
Michael Okpara, please. Michael Okpara, yes. We've never, as an entity, gotten it right. We've just dwindled from there on downward and downward. We just
so there's never been a period in the history of Nigeria that you've never ever had hope.
That's what I just said. That was before I was born. That was the Tafawa Balewa time. Yeah, that was when there was grace.
Well, that's rather depressing. But thank you, Zero. So we leave it there because we've fast gone past the hour. So thank you, gentlemen. Always a delight in your company. So we reconvene for the usual time. If you haven't thumbs up, then thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, then what are you doing? Are you all right? If you are watching the stream and you are not subscribed, then I can only ask if you are all right. So if you are all right, then hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up. So we leave it there. Carry conversation and comment section back here. I say peace.